Good morning, Max Living fam. Glad to have you guys join me here today because really want to help you take your health to the next level per usual. So really looking forward to diving into some great content here today because what if I told you you could do something that could radically transform and change your health? I mean, I'm talking improve recovery, energy, focus, drive, ambition, even helping your body heal tremendously faster and better than ever before, balancing and optimizing hormone regulation and overall balance, and reducing your chances of even cancer and stroke, diabetes, dementia, helping you regulate blood sugar, like all of these things we're going to cover under one topic. And if I were to tell you that you can actually do and accomplish most of this for free without buying a supplement or buying anything, how does that sound to you? Pretty good? Yeah, I thought so. So we're going to dive real deep into everything sleep here today. And I know it's a topic that a lot of people think about. And a lot of times we hear that people say that, I'm doing good. I'm, getting 7, 8 hours. I think I'm good in that category. But I'm here to tell you that that's a great start. And I'm glad you are thinking about it, but there's always ways to take it to the next level. And kind of like with nutrition and what we teach and preach a lot here in the office is that there's always a next level to get to when it comes to your health. And like I said, with nutrition, really focusing on not just the amount or what you're putting in, but more so the quality and really focusing on what you're putting in your body. So same goes with sleep. We can really do some easy things to optimize our sleep and to really take our sleep to the next level and really improve the overall quality so that you are getting the most out of it. And all those benefits that I listed before are all benefits that you can get, that we all can get from improving our sleep. Things that are in the research that have been studied time and time again. So let's dive in here. For those of you who I haven't personally met yet, my name is Dr. Justin. I have been practicing now for just about 6 years, and being a Max Living doctor means a lot to me because this is what really got me excited about what I get to do every single day in practice and in my community, and really helping people achieve the level of health that they want to get to. And if you asked me 15 years ago what I thought I'd be doing, I'd probably tell you that I'd be doing surgery and working on people from that way, which there is certainly is a time and place. And I have needed emergency medical assistance before with all the broken bones and different things that have happened to me in my childhood and playing hockey and all of that. But it didn't really dawn on me that I could help people on a massive scale by really empowering people, teaching people how to take health into their own hands and really restore health and healing in the body, as well as through chiropractic, helping get the body back to the best functioning state possible by really helping the nervous system function as optimally as possible, all without drugs, surgery, going in and doing those things, because those outside in practices, yeah, again, a time and place, but it's not every time and every place. And we just see such amazing miracles happen in our office and hundreds of offices all around the country. Millions of people use chiropractors, and it's becoming more and more of a staple in helping people really improve their overall health. And so really glad a lot of you are on this journey with us, and happy to be on your journey in health. You have no idea even how far really taking care of your spine and nervous system is going for you. And that's going to actually be part of our talk here and discussion with sleep as well. So love having you guys here with us. Again, love getting out into the community and sharing our passion, our knowledge, our approaches with all of you. So if you didn't know this, we do actual talks for different groups and businesses in the community here as well. Love to get in front of people in person because this is where we make massive transformations. So let us know if there's a way we can help you and your family or your group or your business out. Love to come and share this knowledge with them as well. So, all right, let's get to it here. And bear with me as technology is, well, I got a little better at this during the whole lockdown bit when we were doing more of these virtual deals. So just getting back into the practice here. So definitely wanted to start out with some very insightful information here. I don't know if any of you knew this, but sea otters, they need to hold hands so they don't drift away from each other while they sleep. So here's your first fact of the day when it comes to sleeping. I bet you're so glad you tuned in for that. If that doesn't soften your soul a little bit, I don't know what will. So you're welcome. Anyway, another fun fact: 75% of us dream in color. That was only 15% back when there was no color television. So that number has drastically gone up as we are bombarded with more colored screens nowadays. All right. Well, glad we got that going. So, sleep is absolutely a major topic in today's world, especially when it comes to our health, as it does affect 50 to 70 million Americans. They say 30 to 40% are regularly affected by sleep as well. 10 to 15% of people have chronic insomnia. So that is a more severe form of sleep issues. And women happen to be 40% more likely to have the insomnia than men. So sleep is definitely an issue as it's reflected in our medical world as well. Just even a quick search on PubMed pulls up an astronomical amount of results, almost 300,000 different studies and articles on this. So yes, big topic. I feel like we only kind of scathed the surface in most media realms, and nobody's really talking about how to actually improve our sleep. Like, we know it's a problem, we know it leads to all sorts of issues, but nobody's really discussing what we can do to actually improve that. And again, it is an issue. It leads to all sorts of problems. It's kind of like everything else that we talk about in the office. Like, most of the time, health issues don't happen overnight, right? Like, it's a progressive thing that happens over time. We do a lot of different things in our day-to-day life that can impact our body's ability to sleep properly, and then when we're not sleeping properly over time, we create a lot of dysfunction, a lot of imbalances, and over time that can lead to heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, higher chances of stroke, and hormonal imbalances, gut issues, poor recovery, cognitive decline, obesity, blood sugar dysregulation, and really impacts our immune system and overall nervous system as well. And so lots of important things, just because sleep is the most important time that our body has to heal and actually restore itself. And that isn't just about energy and feeling rested the next day. Literally every system of our body requires sleep to heal and restore itself. And this is really getting into our basic foundation, our basic principles of health and wellness, because when we talk about getting the body healthy, we need to think about function and healing. And if your body's not functioning and healing optimally, you are going to be functioning and healing at a suboptimal level that's going to produce suboptimal results for you, and your health reality will be suboptimal as well. And so we can only carry that out for so long. And again, we see this in the literature everywhere. affecting our cardiovascular system, overall cancer mortality. Um, there are, I mean, massive cohort studies, um, meta-analysis, uh, affecting stroke, dementia, diabetes, you name it. And a lot of times we do have these warning signs of sleep issues or how sleep is impacting our lives before it gets to that point, right? Like, yes, those are late end, late stage issues that don't like, happen after a month of poor sleep. It takes years to get to these points, but we can also be affected in the short term as well. And so a lot of times there's these signals, kind of like the light on your dashboard going off, that there's an issue. And so that could be, high blood pressure. Kind of the obvious with, poor focus and memory, just having poor recall, name recognition, like all sorts of different little signs throughout your day, just not quite mentally sharp. Having to reach for the caffeine, that morning coffee, like before you can even function, right? Like I hear that one all the time, like, I just haven't had my coffee yet. Or, you know, um, people going out of their way to go get their Starbucks, like interrupting their day just to go get their Starbucks. Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. I get it. But when it's like a daily thing, a daily habit, like those are some signs that there's an issue going on, right? Blood sugar might be poorly regulated, might be creeping up. You can't shed some of those extra pounds. When you wake up, it's just really difficult to not hit that snooze button. And you even notice mood changes. And sometimes we're not great at recognizing it in ourselves. But maybe after a while, you're like, oh, geez, like, I don't know why I reacted that way or why I'm so short, just irritable. Some of these signs don't have to be glaringly obvious that it's a sleep issue, but can all be traced back to getting poor sleep. So that's where we need to correct it, right? Because again, sleep is our body's natural restorative process to be able to heal properly. It's a time when our mind is actually sorting through all the information that we've encountered throughout the day. On average, we have 20 to 60,000 different thoughts throughout the day. I mean, some of us less, some of us more. And 80 to 90% of those are just subconscious, reoccurring patterns, thoughts, neural networks that we've connected over a lot of years. And so we're not glaringly aware or conscious of these thoughts, but they're still cycling through our mind and things that our mind needs to process. And actually, a lot of this processing happens at night as our hippocampus, different areas of our brain actually consolidate these memories and these thoughts and these experiences and even emotions that we experience throughout the day. And to be able to integrate those within our neural networks. And so it's a very important time for our brain to help sift through all this information that we've come in throughout the day, which is also another good reason to really focus on really powerful, really impactful things to think about or read or listen to, particularly at night before you go to sleep, so that your brain can actually really ingrain that within your nervous system. So more that we could dive into there, but that is one helpful tip. And going into that, our brain actually does most of its healing and actual repair and neural genesis at night. And these are very important processes that happen, a lot that don't even happen throughout the day. And at night, our brain is able to do that as for a lot of different reasons. But as our body temp goes down, there's different immune factors that come into play. It's really quite amazing. And actually, at night is when our body naturally releases more what's called lymphatic drainage. So your brain's natural ability to actually help drain and flush out a lot of toxicity and a lot of stagnant lymph flow. So your body has, and this is maybe something could research or look more into, but we have lymphatic systems throughout our entire body that are constantly flushing out a lot of the cellular debris and waste. And your brain has the same thing, and it's really important for your brain to be able to flush all that out. And so we also get a rebalancing of hormones, neurotransmitters, different peptides that need to be replenished or rebalanced, recalibrated, to start off the next day at a high level and in a balanced state. We'll get into that a little bit more later here. Our body actually goes through major regeneration, like I said, as we release different hormones like growth hormone to actually repair and regenerate a lot of tissue, muscle tissue, and other tissues in our body. And so that's actually when we do a lot of our healing, and we don't want to disrupt that pattern. So a lot of different immune factors are going on, replacing a lot of different immune cells, rebalancing, but also parts of our immune system are actually activated to help clear our body of unwanted cellular debris and waste, and helping our body stay healthy. Our liver is going through a lot of detoxification processes and flushing out and helping our body naturally detox as well. Adrenal glands are restoring function. I mean, all sorts of things are happening, all while we sleep, which is pretty wild. So we do have a video here of how the brain restores itself and how it actually detoxifies. I mean, even our brain accumulates biotoxins, heavy metals, even certain types of bacteria and parasites. And like, it's wild how amazing our body is at being able to clear these things out if it's able to function properly. And so let's just not disrupt those problems. So when it comes to what actually causes sleep problems, there are a number of things. It's pretty hard to attribute those issues to, say, like genetic factors. Most and the vast majority of issues can stem back to our environment. And so that's what we're going to focus on. What can you control to help your sleep quality and help these restorative processes happen? And the good news is you have absolute control over most of these. So we're going to move through some common things that people do ask a lot about. And like I said, things that you can change even tonight to really improve your overall sleep quality. Some of these might just be reminders for you as well. Maybe you have heard of these things. Maybe you did them for a while and kind of got off the habit of doing those things. Guilty. Yeah, this goes for me too. Right after this, I already know of a couple things that I'm going to get either back to doing, or I'm going to start or try something even slightly different. So that's health in general. Just being able to test out different things and see what you can do to really help improve your overall state of health. So first and foremost, definitely want to move our body properly and eat well. No surprise there, right? So we want to focus on sleep promoting foods, watching out for blood sugar spikes, getting an adequate amounts of protein. So there are certain foods that can certainly help with sleep in particular. I will say just eating clean in general, if you're familiar with our core plan, just following that would help with sleep overall, as your body is going to get a wide range of nutrients and minerals and vitamin, all the things that it needs to function optimally. So really just focusing on whole foods that are going to help your body is going to be a great start. And it's going to help you with the rest of your health goals and your health journey as well. And so that alone would be a great focus, even through the holidays here, right? Like Dr. Natalie went into last night in our Healthy for the Holidays workshop. It's not the hall of months, right? It's a few days, and yeah, maybe a couple of their family events thrown there, but you can keep yourself on track even through the holidays with bringing in great nutrients in your body with just eating real clean. So using single ingredient foods, getting in good sources of really great sources of proteins, healthy fats, and even really some good sources of carbohydrates as well. It's really a lot more simple than we make it. But again, we're here for you. And if you have more in-depth questions on that, we have plenty of resources for you as well. But when it comes to particularly sleep promoting foods, we can think about things like even salmon or cold water fish, lots of great omega-3 fats, even some vitamin D and some other fat soluble vitamins that help with the sleep process. And well, I'm going to get more into kind of the timing of foods later and when to eat, but those are things that are going to help you, especially watching out for foods that are going to negatively impact your blood glucose and causing fluctuations throughout the day, particularly at night. So those are some things we're going to talk about as well. And yes, plenty of protein is going to be super helpful as well. For some of you looking into doing the advanced plan, so this is really a dietary plan that's going to eliminate some of the foods that are going to be problematic for a lot of us. I would say all of us. And this is a great thing to follow. It depends on the person and your health history and background, as well as your goals. But the advanced plan is eliminating a lot of different carbs and grains and things that really negatively impact our blood glucose, affect our hormones, can affect our gut and our microbiome, a lot of different things that can affect our sleep. And so doing this, even for a little while, can really help rebalance and regulate your gut health, as well as how that could impact your body's ability to naturally sleep better. So the advanced plan is definitely something to look into. Many of you have resources on it. Whether or not you've looked into it, I don't want to try to call you out, but yes, that would be a great thing to really get a good idea with and get familiar with, because it's really going to help your body heal and function better. So one thing that is an easy step when it comes to our nutrition is thinking about meal timing, particularly skipping the late night snacks, right? This is, again, guilty. Especially later nights that I get home, I play hockey. I work out late at night sometimes. And sometimes when I get home, it's tempting to just gorge out. But a lot of times these things can really disrupt our natural ability to sleep well. And there have been studies they've shown even eating within 2 hours of bed can reduce the quality of our sleep. And even depends what you're snacking on too. They did a study showing that adults that snacked on seeds and nuts before bed slept 32 minutes more on average than those who just snacked on chips, crackers, or pretzels. So like refined grains and processed foods. So all these things are important, but if you can, I would put at least 2 to 3 hours between your last meal and when you go to sleep. Depending on your activity level and who you are, even a light snack, maybe an hour or two before bed, something like berries, like a lower glycemic fruit like that, maybe pair that with a bit of a protein as well to help mitigate some of that blood sugar rise or insulin response. So pairing that with a good source of protein could be great as well. Maybe that's a bone broth protein. That is something that I will do, is use a bone broth or collagen, and mix that with like a greens mix, maybe a touch of like coconut milk as well. So you're getting some like good fats there as well. And something else that can help a lot of people is actually adding just a little bit of raw organic honey. So if you can find a local raw organic honey at night, that can actually, it doesn't spike your blood sugar levels or insulin levels nearly as much as really any other carbohydrate. Very good regulatory effects there, but it does help replenish liver glycogen in particular. So, replenishing that liver glycogen will actually help keep your body um, maintaining good glucose levels throughout the night. And if you have trouble waking up sometimes in the middle of the nights, this can actually be a very powerful thing for a lot of you to do to really improve the quality of sleep that you're getting as your body's not getting hypoglycemic or low in blood sugar and then waking you up. Yeah, so that can be a small tip for some of you to try, just a local or raw organic honey. So again, want to skip out on some of those refined carbs and sugar sweets and these things that are easy to reach for at the end of the night. um, a lot of times that stems from something earlier, like not having a satiating dinner or even lunch, getting enough fats and proteins into your diet, or good fibrous foods like good sources of veggies that are going to help you regulate blood sugar levels as well as make you feel satiated throughout the rest of the day. So sometimes just even higher stress levels can make you feel like you need that snack or sugary food as well. So, caffeine. We talked a little bit about coffee already, but caffeine's another one that we get a lot of questions about for for a good reason. 94% of Americans drink caffeinated beverages, two-thirds of them every day. So America's the world number one source of antioxidants, which coming from coffee, that is. So it's it is something that a lot of us enjoy, a lot of us love to have in our day. A couple things that I will say about it. This is an entirely different topic for a different time to really dive into coffee and caffeine. But just from a foundational level, if you're going to have coffee and caffeine, I would certainly limit both the amount and like when you consume it. So coffee has a half-life. So the time it takes to break down in your body depends on genetics and some different factors, especially liver health and all these different things. But usually 4 to 6 hours. Some people as long as 12 hours. I happen to be one of those people that is probably closer to 10 to 12 hours for me, because if I have any type of caffeine coffee after noon, I will notice a change in my sleep at night for sure, every time. And I still slip up even when I know better. And so as a general rule of thumb, most people do better completely eliminating any type of caffeine source after, say, 12 or 1 o'clock. You'll do much better drinking your coffee mid-morning, usually after you've already had some good hydrating fluids, as well as maybe a little something to eat, so you're not completely on an empty stomach. Just from a hormonal standpoint and gut health standpoint, those would be some general recommendations. Happy to do a more in-depth breakdown at some point too, if you guys would like. Yes, another important topic here. A lot of people have a tendency to think that even just their nightcap, right? That glass of wine or maybe a little bit of whiskey or whatever it is to put you to sleep is helpful. And I get it. Like, it is a relaxing thing for some people. And I won't get into the health effects of drinking at this point. Again, it's maybe a totally different webinar, but alcohol negatively impacts our sleep on many different levels. They did a study that showed even just drinking or serving, which isn't very much, 6 ounces of wine or beer, or be 1.5 ounces of hard liquor, decreased sleep quality by almost 40%. So again, sometimes it feels good in the moment. Sometimes it's nice in a social gathering, calms you, whatever it is. But sometimes you got to think about it as how that momentary pleasure or momentary time that you're enjoying that drink, what is it doing to your next day, or how is it stealing stealing enjoyment and energy from your next day, and how does that impact every other interaction that you have, and every other um, the things that you want to accomplish the next day. So that's how I would start thinking about it, because you definitely don't need that drink at night to fall asleep, because actually they have shown that, sure, maybe for some people it helps the actual falling asleep process, but typically we get much poor quality of sleep after that. We have more bouts of waking up. We don't get into all the different stages of sleep at the right times or even at all, and it really disrupts our overall quality. And if you've ever had any type of wearable device like an Oura Ring or Whoop watch, or maybe even the Apple or Garmin, like some of these other watches can track that, but people have seen drastic decreases in overall quality of sleep when it comes to incorporating booze into your nightly routine, even during the day. So it really screws up with our liver detoxification processes. The toxins ethanol or alcohol itself is a toxic threat and stress to our body. But even once it's broken down into its smaller constituents, that's toxic to our brain. So it really affects our health on a lot of different levels. So again, we could dive into alcohol and different ways to approach this on a different webinar. But when it comes to sleep, it's really going to negatively impact your overall sleep, and show you hundreds, if not thousands, of studies to show that. So moving on to something else that is very, very common, and something that I see with a lot of people, is just like the different supplements out there. Just even melatonin alone, some of you have heard plenty about, or maybe have been using. Just even with melatonin, even over even since 2000, the year 2000, the usage has increased over 400%. So a lot more people are looking into these things. I think a lot of people want to naturally sleep better and not go towards these drugs that are very habit inducing drugs. Does screw up people's sleep cycles and makes people feel dependent on them. And yeah, I wouldn't want that either. So I don't blame you. But you know, we got to dive a little deeper into the use of these things and what's going to be more helpful, because just relying on melatonin sometimes is a step up from taking drugs, but it's still for the same reason. A lot of times we're still doing it because we're covering up deeper problems, things that are affecting our sleep negatively, and it's not really getting to the cause of these issues. And this is important because almost 50% of parents report giving melatonin to their children. So when kids, it's not like kids under 13 are going to PubMed and doing all this research and seeing what these different supplements are doing to them. And like, if kids aren't sleeping well, it's not because of melatonin. They don't have a melatonin issue. So that's where looking into things a little deeper are certainly going to help us. So we've covered some different food approaches, like nutritional approaches, things that you can do on a daily basis to help your body support your body's function and healing ability. You'll naturally reduce things like inflammation and even like in rebalancing hormones, insulin levels, like all these things that your body needs to function better. But sometimes there can be more supportive supplements that are going to help your sleep as well. And so I've got quite a few listed here, and don't get overwhelmed with this. Like I said, health is a journey. Trying different things at different times can be very helpful for you as well. But all this stuff, a few here that are actually very helpful, particularly when you pair this with all the other things that we're going to cover later when it comes to good habits surrounding sleep, as well as all the nutrition stuff that hopefully you're starting to dive into. So when it comes to supplements, glycine is an important amino acid when it comes to helping support your body's ability to sleep well. So from a lot of different sources that I've come across, anywhere from 1 to 3 grams an hour before bed. It can be super helpful. It is a non-essential amino acid, so it means your body naturally produces this amino acid on its own, but it's hard to get enough of it, especially with today's standard diet or things that we're eating. I'm guessing a lot of you aren't consuming a ton of bone marrow and different bone broths and different things where a lot of more concentrated glycine sources come from. So sometimes supplementing with that can be super helpful. Plenty of decent products you can find out there for that. And our natural, it's going to support our natural collagen production as well. So helping our body heal at night, which does decrease about 1% every year after we start get past 20 years of age. So something that is important to help maintain and help support, as we may need to support it a little more than just going with it. So glycine is also going to help mitigate some of the cortisol response in your body, as well as helping your body drop its body temperature, as that is an important factor. Our body will naturally decrease in temp about 2 degrees at night for a lot of different reasons. So it's going to help with that process and our mitochondria's ability to do that and maintain a body temperature during night, as well as supporting non-REM sleep. So lots of important things on that end. Magnesium, probably have heard us talk about magnesium quite a bit, as for a good reason. It supports well over 300 different enzymatic reactions in the body. Super helpful in a lot of different aspects of health. I mean, really ranging on every system of the body, but particularly when it comes to sleep, it's going to be helpful with the nervous system. And magnesium glycinate or malate is going to be the ideal form that you go for. The max living form of magnesium is the glycinate form, which again is definitely going to be ideal for the nervous system in particular. And so a little more on a deeper end with that, magnesium helps modulate like glutamate in the brain and their overall potential for excited like neurological transmissions. And so it's going to help produce a healthy mood and emotions and be more relaxing while helping you facilitate sleep. So and with magnesium, so magnesium's a mineral that 60 to 80% of our population is deficient in. So super important one to get more magnesium from, which also depletes when we are more stressed, drink more coffee, sweat more. So there's a lot of good reasons to supplement with it, just because we're typically not getting enough of it. But also consuming full spectrum of minerals can be super helpful as well. So using good sea salt, Himalayan salt, just adding maybe even a little more than you're used to. I wouldn't be afraid of it, as you're going to have a full spectrum of minerals from those sources, and really going to help you stay healthy overall. There's so many here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but all of your fat soluble vitamins are going to be important for proper sleep. Vitamin D being probably the most important, but you do need a healthy balance of, vitamin A, E, and even some K for all these other things to work. So vitamin D is definitely a good one to think about, especially in this time of year when we're not getting natural sunlight to our bare skin. Even if you were frolicking out in the snow with your swimsuit on, you're still not going to get enough UV rays to actually convert different cholesterols into an active form of vitamin D, which really acts more like a hormone in the body to regulate hundreds of different reactions in the body. But yes, so just getting good fats in your foods, maybe supplementing with vitamin D and some of these other ones can be super helpful during this time of year. Then there's a whole host of other ones that I do commonly see in the research, as well as different products that I would trust. But a lot of teas and different like sleep aids use some of these different herbs and adaptogenic compounds. There's a fun word for some of you that maybe haven't come across that yet. But things like magnolia bark and saffron and passion flower. These all can help facilitate like tranquility and just helping ease your mind and create more peacefulness. Um, so a lot of people love to incorporate some of these in maybe a tea, or yes, there are supplements out there that carry these things as well. Um, it's really interesting. I mean, this is where you gain more of an appreciation for food, because even, I mean, these food compounds, right? Like these are naturally occurring things that happen in nature, are loaded with hundreds, if not thousands, of different compounds that help these processes along. So, I mean, just like saffron alone has 25 different active compounds that that help with along the just the mood and emotional balance side of things, and helping with anxiety and stress. Like that they've studied. There's probably more, like, and so it's pretty wild how all these things go together. Valerian ashwagandha is a common one I do see to help mitigate stress. Lavender, a lot of people like to diffuse or like put a little of that on your pillow at night. That can be very, very calming. Maca root is an adaptogenic root veggie, so it helps your body actually mitigate and handle stress better. B complex vitamins can be very helpful as well, as we need different B vitamins to help even with melatonin synthesis, so actually producing our own melatonin. And others are needed in energy pathways, but also to help mitigate cortisol. So hopefully this isn't too all right over your head, but a lot of these compounds are super beneficial. There's other things that help your body produce its own natural serotonin, with serotonin down the line. So tryptophan, serotonin, and then serotonin we converted to melatonin down the line. So some of those things you guys have heard of, even just eating enough protein and getting good sources of carbs can help that production, as tryptophan can then easily converted into serotonin and melatonin along the way. So yes, so those would be some important things, and that's why we have certain sleep help supplements that are high quality, that we feel good about promoting and having for you guys. We can feel good about that instead of you going to Walgreens and picking whatever is off the shelf there, and God knows what's in those. I mean, they've actually done studies showing that majority, like over 75% of some of the ingredients in a lot of these products either don't actually exist in there, or are in vastly different amounts than they actually claim on the label. So it's a not very well regulated industry, which is why we have the highest quality things out there that you deserve, especially if you're putting your money on it. I would tell you just to save your money and not get a lot of the other cheaper products out there, like going to Costco and you see a whole wall of them, and yeah, maybe the price tag looks good, but chances are you're getting junk quality stuff, and it's not going to do any good for you anyway. So let's get something good. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some things out there, if you go to the co-op, or you can sift through things on Amazon, or there's different companies out there that have stuff, but just be careful about what you're looking for. Our sleep and mood formula has a lot of those, a handful of those things that I had mentioned on the previous slide to support sleep in all different stages of sleep, from getting you to sleep to helping you stay asleep, and not feeling groggy later down the road. So lots of good stuff. So gonna hit a few other things here that are really gonna help your body get into a natural cycle of sleeping well, which really is going to be some of the most important things you can do. One of those being getting enough movement throughout your day. Sedentary lifestyles have really crushed our body's natural ability to sleep and relax well. So working out in the morning can be a perfect way to start things. Quite honestly, I would, if so, again, getting any movement is better than none. Whenever you can fit it in your day, do it. If you're going to optimize this, I would start the day with something that's on the lower to moderate side of intensity. So even just a walk, doing some yoga, doing some mobility work, stretching, those things would be great to do in the morning. Even some light cardio work, as that's really going to help your body naturally warm up and utilize some of the natural hormonal cycles we have as well to get the most out of that time. You can do those things fasted without eating. That's actually going to help help a lot of things as well at that lower to moderate intensity. And well, let's just say it, like a lot of people are looking to lose weight, and that can be a great way to stimulate some more weight loss and fat burning, so to speak. So great thing to do there. And then a little bit later in the days when I would add in more of the high intensity or vigorous exercise, and that could look vastly different for all of us. I would recommend incorporating some weightlifting, and some type of exercise that's going to get your heart rate up and get you sweating. So that would be ideal a little bit later in the day, just to actually help regulate a lot of natural hormone cycles and help your body actually sleep better, let alone really improving every other aspect of health in the body. So get a little bit of movement in. And one study that I was reading said that increasingly the scientific evidence is encouraging regular physical activity may serve as a non-pharmaceutical alternative to improve sleep. Like, wow, big news. We've known that for many years, but sometimes it takes a meta-analysis of hundreds of different studies just to confirm it. So sometimes we can just infer these things. But the study did show 65% improvement in quality of sleep, getting exercise in the morning. So get to it. Next, we want to really master our nighttime routine. So setting the mood, so to speak. One of the easiest and best things to do, and quite honestly, once you do this, you won't go back. Really fixing the lights that you have at home. So taking care of like the really harsh, bright lights make a huge difference in your body's natural ability to calm and get better sleep. And a lot of this has to do with, without getting into too much, the photoreceptors we have in our eyes that stimulate different areas of our brain to produce melatonin and then set off a cascade of other necessary events to get better quality sleep. So definitely want to start at least dimming, but really you got to change out your light bulbs. So a lot of times our overhead fluorescent lights have really harsh, lot of blue light in there. We want to switch out. I would maybe just use lamps. You can keep those overhead lights, but for like earlier in the day, but for at night, using lamps and using amber colored light bulbs or even red light bulbs if you really want to take it to the next level. This is where you can even use like blue light blocking glasses. So maybe you've heard of those. Those can be really effective to use at night. So I would start using these things at least 2 hours before bed. So that's going to really emulate like a natural light cycle that our bodies are used to. So with that, also want to turn off a lot of distractions. And so, most of us are connected literally to our phone or computer or whatever all throughout the day. And like people can get a hold of us at any given time, or we're getting a hold of other people all day long. And then it doesn't even turn off when we're at night trying to relax. Like we're scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, seeing what the world's up to. A lot of times we're getting across negative energy, negative news, feeling down about ourselves because your whatever acquaintance friend that you met once is doing all these amazing things, or that's what they make it look like. And yeah, anyway, it's a nasty downhill spiral for most of us just to be doom scrolling all day long. So get rid of that. Turn your phone on airplane mode. Like if somebody needs to get a hold of you, they'll get a hold of you the next morning. Like just turn that an hour before bed, even just give yourself an hour to yourself and your family. Ideally even 15, 20 minutes by yourself, even, make the kids go to bed a little earlier, or whatever you need to do. Get a little time to yourself to slow down, read a book, maybe do some just relaxing stretching, or find a meditation or breathing thing on. I told you to turn off your phone, but if you turn on YouTube or something like that to find something that's going to help guide you through a meditation, or there's plenty of apps out there now. Like all these are great things that you can do before bed. It's going to calm your nervous system, help you really, really relax and get to the next level. Heating your body up can be another tactic. So like a hot shower, bath, you can put in some Epsom salts, or just dump a bunch of Himalayan salt into your bath. Really great way to soak. Magnesium flakes, yeah. Essential oils, just enjoy a nice relaxing bath can be a great thing to do. Using a sauna a couple hours, 2-3 hours before bed, another great thing to do as well. Heating up your core temperature, actually, then your body goes into a state of homeostasis. So it wants to bring that body temperature back down, and helping your body actually bring that down just a little bit lower than baseline for at night. So great thing to do. Then this is I got a lot of different webinars that I need to do just based on this presentation, but what we're doing with all this is really resetting our circadian rhythm. So our body has natural cycles that it goes through throughout the day, throughout a 24-hour cycle. So even at very specific times, our body does certain things. So that known about these for a long time, and even before we could study these things, like it wasn't since the 1950s that a lot of these hormones were even measured, or like even discovered. That for hundreds, even thousands of years, people have been following circadian cycles, and doing that more intuitively, or just because we measured or looked at life and health a little differently. And lo and behold, they're actually doing things that were scientifically sound, and really do help our bodies function better. And so with circadian rhythms, for instance, like at night, I've mentioned a few of these hormones. So let's say you start to dim the lights at night around 9-10 o'clock, our body starts naturally producing melatonin. So that hormone that helps our body relax and actually go to sleep. Now that can be screwed up when we're getting too much blue light into our eyes and other photoreceptors on even our skin. And that suppression of that melatonin will then screw up a whole cascade of other events as well. And so this will go even into causing irregular cycles and rhythms, and down the road leading to more insomnia, obesity, diabetes, depression, mood disorders, and you name it. Like it will mess up a lot of those important events that happen after that. And so, you even have something called vasoactive intestinal polypeptide, so VIP, that is released just after that causes vasodilation and cracks. So this is like even in the morning after your body starts to wake up, you start to produce a little more cortisol. So your body will release some more cortisol and epinephrine, things to help your body wake up. And as that's happening, VIP will cause vasodilation, increasing contractility of the heart. So your heart's actually pumping harder to help you wake up and pump more oxygen, nutrients throughout the body. Liver glycogenolysis, so like helping your liver release more glucose to support body functions, and then relaxes the muscles of your trachea, stomach, gallbladder, and intestines, so you can make that morning trip to the bathroom. Like all these things are happening in a very very orderly and very specific manner. So again, don't want to mess all this up by with all the technology and different things that we have. It's easy to stay on your phone and get that little bit last piece of work done or whatever it is. Like, I know there's a time and place, but like, if you can make it more of a norm to have those things out of your general life, right before bed, you'll be so much better off. Lots of studies to support that too. So if you need any extra help believing that, always here for you. And so again, when it comes to resetting circadian rhythm, we really need, and like I talked about, releasing growth hormones. So these things happen at night after your body starts to actually relax. You have all sorts of other things that happen as well. Like, we increase leptin and adiponectin at night, even ghrelin, and some different hormones that help suppress appetite, slow down gastrointestinal functions, and it'll help bring your core body temperature down as well. And your body will naturally release more fat reserves, so you can have more energy for your mitochondria to function throughout the night. And as your body temperature goes down as well, that's when more of that neural repair and reduced inflammation and reducing a lot of those inflammatory cytokines, so those inflammatory molecules that'll impact you as well. And then you're also going to increase different types of lymphatic drainage, as well as leukocyte formation and different immune factors, including T cells, so T killer cells that are going to scavenge damage cells, as well as cellular debris. So like, a lot of important things happening throughout the body. That's really how our body continues to heal and stay healthy, right? When these processes stop, that's when dis-ease happens, and we know what happened down the road when we don't correct that, right? So and again, we could go into all sorts of nerdy stuff about how this happens, but yeah, as we disrupt that natural circadian rhythm, now we really impact our overall hormone balances and metabolism, and leads to, again, dis-ease down the road. And so this is actually really helpful for a lot of us, because now we can actually optimize when we do certain things. There's a really good book called The Power of When. Might be helpful for some of you to check out if you really want to learn more about when your body functions optimally. Some of us are slightly different in our what we call chronobiology. So looking more into that can be really, really helpful when you, like, if you want to know when you would function best to work out versus when you would function best to, say, answer emails or do some work that, like, mindless work that you just, the dirty work that you just got to get done, or when you should be more creative, or when you really should go to bed and when you should wake up. Like, so we can really start to optimize a lot of this on our own. But in general, a lot of us do function better at certain times of the day. So, like, again, in the morning, some of us are better at doing certain things than others. Even midday, when our body temperature and reaction times increases, and different hormone production. So like, maybe that's a better time to work out, maybe time to lift weights. So, looking into, your unique chronobiology can be super helpful. One of the most powerful ways you can reset your circadian rhythms, get back on track, is actually using the sunlight to do that. So in the morning, right when the sun rises, it's an ancient practice really called sun gazing. Yeah, watching the sun come up and the sun go down. It's, very, sounds like being on a dating site or whatever, but these things are actually really powerful and helpful to reset those natural hormone cycles, right? So in the morning, when we see sunlight, that natural light will help suppress melatonin production and stimulate a little more cortisol release to help us wake up a little bit. And similarly at night, the red light. So when that sunset is going down, that red light really helps, again, help relax our body and put into effect a lot of these other relaxing processes that happen. So getting sunshine in the morning, ideally full spectrum light, like on as much of your body as you can. And don't wear sunglasses in the morning and later in the afternoon. Even throughout the day, I mean, I really only wear sunglasses if I'm like in direct sunlight or like driving into the sun, or maybe, say you're out on a walk in the snow where you're getting a lot of reflective light, or on the water with reflective light. Maybe those are times, and I'll just leave that up to your discretion. But like a lot of times when we're wearing sunglasses all the time and we're blocking these natural rays, our body cannot get the proper signaling. So I could go more into naps, but napping, yes, great way to regenerate and reinvigorate yourself through the rest of the day. If you're feeling a need to nap every single day, like you don't have an option, you have to nap. Okay, we got to work on that sleep quality at night type of a thing. But yeah, just getting a 20 to 60-minute nap in throughout the day can be a super powerful thing for you. Or just working on some other type of midday relaxation technique, like a meditation, stretching, yoga, just going for a light walk, chatting with a friend, increasing that oxytocin in the body. Like there'd be a lot of great things to do to help kind of mitigate some of the stress. And so that's kind of the last piece here that I want to talk about, is that we really need to address that unwarranted or unnecessary stress in life. I mean, it is impossible to avoid, and you're never going to avoid stress altogether. But we need to be able to offset some of that by incorporating some of these practices, especially at night, so that our body can regulate cortisol properly and it's not going to impact our other hormones. Just because, yeah, when you have cortisol and adrenaline pumping through your system all times of the day and even at night, it's gonna have some prolonged and long-term consequences. I mean, that's going to affect cognitive function. Even prolonged cortisol levels have been shown to affect your hypothalamus, different areas of the brain that and hippocampus, and areas that you really do want to be functioning properly, and it's actually shown to shrink those areas. And so pretty wild what can happen if these things go unmitigated. So really want to get our body and our nervous system in that relaxed state. A lot of times we're stuck in that overactive sympathetic nervous system state, and that makes it tough to sleep, tough to get to sleep. That's maybe where we even wake up anxious, your heart's kind of pumping, like our body's not regulating those areas very well. And so, we can do some different things to offset this, focusing on peace management. I kind of like that word. We're not looking to just completely eliminate stress. You do need stress in life. I mean, life would be boring if you didn't have any, let alone you never get anything done. So you do need stress, but just don't let it overrun your life. And you can do things like again, the meditation apps are great. Breath work apps are great. If it's hard for you to meditate, even just focusing on breathing is a form of meditation. Getting out in nature is a form of meditation. Just walking, really great. Especially when going back to the nutrition thing, like just taking a 10 to 30-minute walk after dinner, super powerful way to regulate blood sugar levels, help digestion, as well as mitigate some of the stress response from the rest of the day. So that is an easy thing. Get your spouse or your friend or your neighbor, or take your dog for a walk. Like, great thing to do to end the day with. So stress, definitely a key factor there. And then we do get a lot of questions about mattresses, right? And it's important. You spend a third of your life on it, so it might as well be a good one. This, in terms of like companies out there, this might be a different article, or like if you've been looking for a new mattress, ask us. We can help you out. But getting a good mattress is definitely a good investment. Like I said, you're spending a lot of time there, so might as well be a good one. But when it comes to sleeping positions, as a lot of you know, sleeping on your back is the most ergonomically correct position when it comes to your spine. And there's a lot of other good research showing that, yes, it is good for your your posture, your spine alignments, keeping more of a natural curve and arc in your neck as well as low back. And so that's where those sleep rolls come into play to help keep that natural alignment in your neck and low back. And that will actually help your nervous system and your spinal cord drain like some of those, like I was talking about before, the lymphatic drainage, as well as the cerebral spinal fluid that is moving in and out of your brain and spinal cord at all times. So those are good things to for your brain and body to be doing. Sleeping on your side can be okay as well. For some of you, not as much. It just kind of depends on who you are, your spine. But you can optimize the way you sleep on your side by supporting your head, your neck, as well as your hips. So having something between your legs, as well as you may want to think about like something that you can hug as well. So instead of having your shoulders collapse down, you're actually hugging something to stay in more of a neutral position. And then, of course, really the best way to actually remove stress from the system and help your neurology and your brain recalibrate, and to help every system of your body receive the signals that it should, and that helps keep that healing power turned on in your body, because without it, nothing functions. So that is why, yes, sleeping in certain ergonomical positions can be helpful. Uh, Using better positions when you are at work, and not staring at your phone all day long. Like, these are good and helpful things to help your spine as well. All things that we want you to focus on and improve on. Getting mobility in throughout your day, just moving your body more through functional ranges of motion, ideally, will all help your body move and function better too. But when it comes to really improving the overall health of your nervous system, like, our bodies encounter a lot of stress throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout our entire lives, little accidents, injuries along the way. If you've worked a desk job for years, or you've had even a phone for years, like, all these different stressors accumulate and cause stress and tension on our body. And so we do need to be able to release these. And that's really where the proper and specific chiropractic adjustment comes into play, because I get it all the time, usually from people that are outside of my normal circles, and they'll just ask, like, well, what can I do so I don't, like, yeah, sure, I'm sure it feels good to be adjusted, but like, what if I don't want, like, can't make it in, or like, what can I do on my own? And I'm like, well, there's plenty of things you can do to help, stay mobile and moving, and those are all great. Like, I do them every day, but we but it doesn't replace the actual adjustments. So you have well over 100 different joints in your spine, lots of different specific angles to be worked with, and your spine really does have an optimal alignment as well. And so there is no stretch or strengthening or mobility work or yoga pose or supplement or whatever you can take that's going to impact or change that. And so that is where definitely commend you for being in the office and taking care of your spine, because every single adjustment is helping your spine and brain function better. And without it, you're going to be operating at a subpar level. And that's why chiropractic works so well at what it does. I mean, there are hundreds of studies out there that a lot of people aren't even aware of, and how it improves your overall hormone balance, your organ function, your even brain function. So much more than just neck or back pain or taking care of headaches. Like, of course, those things are important too, but we're more about how can we get your body actually functioning and healing at a higher level. And that starts with removing the interferences to your spine, allowing that brain and that neurology to function better to every 70 trillion cells of your body, every organ system of your body, allowing your body to function as God designed it. So, thank God we have that healing power within us. And that is all we're trying to do, is release that healing power and let you live a life full of potential, full of vitality, and really bring the best of you out to the rest of the world. So that's what we love to do. That's why we love that you're here and taking control and power over your health. Because if you don't, somebody else will, or you just leave it up to chance. And just statistically speaking, leaving your health up to do what's average is not a great approach these days. Never was, but especially these days. So every little bit that you do makes a huge difference, and we certainly commend you guys for being here with us and taking control of your health. So this went way longer than I expected, but I hope you guys got something out of it. Great thing to just tune into, on your drive here or at home while you're making food. Every little bit of information that you can learn will go a long way. So here be some top tips just to take away from here. So you can take a screenshot of this or take a picture. I'll just leave it up here for a second. But I really do hope everybody has a great day here now. Like I said, take even one or two of these things and implement them tonight. Don't wait. Like, there is no point in waiting until tomorrow. You'll think about it. You'll think it's a good idea. You'll even be kind of excited about it, but then you'll get back to your normal routines. And the only way to kick bad habits out is to replace them with good habits that you're excited about, that is going to help you in your overall life. And I guarantee that these things will help your overall sleep health. I mean, they've not just for me, but have helped and worked for thousands and thousands of people that have tried these things. So even something as easy as lowering your thermostat down to a lower temperature tonight. I mean, I keep my house, quite honestly, at 58 to 60 degrees overnight. Even 68 degrees can be a great place to start for a lot of you to help regulate your body temperature at night. So yeah, hope you guys got some out of this. And let me know if you have any questions. Love to answer those. You can, maybe even write a note and leave it with our front desk. You can always reach out to my social media page. I'm just Dr. J Lee DC on Instagram. I've got email, like, we're here for you. Happy to answer other questions. And yeah, excited that I was able to spend the afternoon here with you, or morning, whatever it is now. And thank you guys. Appreciate you.